Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chantal. For anyone that's new here, I'm an artist and a designer, and in my videos I'm going to be showing you different crafts and different art things that I do during my spare time. So today I will be showing you how to make miniature houses. I'll be showing you how to make. I am showing you a very simplified version, just if you've never made a miniature house before, just like simple like this. I definitely recommend doing one of these. Of course, with kids it's a great craft, but I think it's really great for adults too because it's so therapeutic making one of these. I took about 24 hours to make this house, so I'm guessing if you've never made a miniature house before, you could really space out the time. Anytime you have free time, you could work on it, and it's great for your motor skills, if you want to improve your hand-eye coordination and those kinds of things. So it has a lot of benefits of making one of these homes. So if you're interested in making one for yourself, keep watching. So this was the house I made last lockdown last year. As you can see, it has a lot more details. I used a lot of popsicle sticks on this one, so your house definitely does not have to be as detailed as this. The one I am going to show you is not as detailed as this one, but you can always modify it however you'd like. So the first thing you want to do when you start to make your home is to plan everything. Now, the materials that you're gonna need, it's not a lot. I use a cardboard box for the house itself. I use the cardboard for the windows and as the base of the roof and the door. And just to add like a little extra special touch to make it look a little bit more realistic, I use popsicle sticks for the roof and for the front door. If you can't get your hands on these items, you can always just use a box and paint everything. But if you do want to purchase these items, there are craft stores that will deliver to you still. I bought these popsicle sticks from Perspective Art, but if you don't want to order anything extra, you could just use a box. But you're still gonna need scissors. You're gonna need a glue gun with lots of glue stick. I use a large glue gun with the long glue sticks, and I used 3 in all for this house. Now the house I showed you before had a ton of popsicle sticks, so I used about 5 or 6 on that house. But for this one, you should only need about 2 or 3, right? And if you're not using popsicle sticks, you probably won't use that much. You'll probably use only 1. So yeah, that's what you're gonna need. But first you need to start with the planning. I took the liberty of making a template for you of this house, and I'm gonna put it next so you can stop the video and take down the measurements if you would like, and you could use mine as a base and you could add things to it after. All my pieces here that I cut out already, so I have 2 sides, the front and the back, and then the triangles for the tops. I have my door, and I have 5 windows, 1 for the front, 2 for the back, and 1 for each side. And then I have my roof all in one piece, and I have popsicle sticks that I'm gonna use on the front door and the roof. And I have paints that I'm gonna paint my house with, and I have these side panels to go on the side of the roof, but I might actually just use popsicle sticks. So that is everything I would be using. So I'm starting off with my door, and I am basically going to line up my popsicle sticks like this and do 2 across, kind of like a dungeon door, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna line them all up, and I'm gonna put a piece over it to hold them together, and then I'm gonna cut the shape out with a scissors. The popsicle sticks are really easy to cut with scissors. I don't think you really need to use an X-Acto knife. If you have a sharp pair of scissors, it would definitely work. The pieces going across, I did cut to size before I started gluing. I also started by cutting the round ends of one side of the popsicle sticks to make it easier to cut in the end. I just followed the shape of the door to trim and glued the popsicles onto the cardboard piece. I then found the midway point of the roof and I used my awl, or you can use an ice pick, to score the underside of the roof. Don't go all the way through, you just want to make it easy to fold the roof in half. Now moving on to the roof, which is the most time-consuming part of building the house, I think. I basically measure and cut the popsicle sticks as I went along. Don't waste any of the popsicle sticks, just cut the round edges off and use them as much as possible along the roof. You can layer them so they overlap, or you can glue them flat. It's really up to you and the look that you are going for. So I just finished one side. I did kind of layer it at the beginning, and then closer to the top they are flat, they're not overlapping. So from the side, this is how it looks. So it's overlapped at the beginning and then flat on the side so that it isn't too thick. And now I'm going to move on to the next side. So before I finish, I really wanted to keep the roof in its shape. So what I did was use a popsicle stick, and using the triangle template from my house, I cut out a piece of popsicle stick that I knew would fit the structure of the roof and keep it in place. Okay, so now I have my roof completely covered, and I put these little pieces inside at the same angle as the rooftops. I'm gonna take these wooden pieces. I initially cut out some cardboard that would go there, but I'm gonna use these instead, and I'm basically gonna cover the sides so that they look uniform, and I neaten up the edges as well. So I've finished the sides. But I don't like that there are spaces in between, so I'm gonna take, since I have extra popsicle sticks, I am going to cover up the sides like this so that it looks more uniform. I definitely wanted to make sure that I was measuring accurately, and when I was gluing it together that I was squeezing the popsicle sticks as tight as possible so that I didn't end up with any gaps in the roof. Now here's a brief tip on how to avoid getting burnt by a glue gun, because this happens all the time, and because this is a craft that requires you to use it so much, you may run into, you know, glue gun burns a lot. Once you get the glue on your fingers, don't stop to think about it. Just rub your hands to rub the glue together. I know that sounds crazy to rub the hot glue between your fingers, but it makes it warmer, not warmer, colder. It stops the heat immediately. So as soon as you get it on your finger, just rub it off. So like if I'm gluing things together and I put too much glue, sometimes I would swipe my finger and just rub it together and it falls off. So don't wait for it to like harden or for the heat to seep into your skin. Roll it off one time. Not one time, that's a very training thing to say. Roll it off as soon as possible. Okay, so here I have the finished roof. This took about an hour to do, but it was a lot of fun. This process could be done over a few days. So now that it is finished, I'm just gonna leave it for a little bit, let it really firm up, and then I'm gonna paint all the pieces. So right now I just covered all the pieces in just a thin layer of white paint, and that would make it easier for me to paint the sides. I'm painting all the sides before I assemble it together. So you'll have to forgive me, I always forget to film, but I just use this chalk paint, it dries matte, to do the sides of my house, like a solid color. I use some brown in between with white, but I just covered all the sides with this color, and I'm going to move on to do the windows. Don't worry, I will film this time. So here I have all the sides of my house. I have the roof, I have my front door, those are the red parts of the house. I have my 5 windows, I have my 2 sides over here, and the front and the back. I already glued the triangles to the base, and I also reinforced the back with just a piece of cardboard. So now I'm going to glue the doors and the windows on to all the sides and then glue the house together. Now I glue all the sides together and then I glue the roof onto the top. I last minute decided that the front was too plain, so I decided to add an awning. I cut a piece of cardboard out the length of the house and I scored the underside so that it would curl in, and I just glued it to the front, and I used a piece of a popsicle stick to secure it. I used popsicle sticks at the front of the awning to neaten it up, and I also painted it before I glued it on to the front. And that's basically it. Once you're done gluing everything together, just let your house sit and rest for about an hour. If you find it's a little wobbly, you can add more glue, but once you put the roof on, it should stop wobbling. And yeah, and then you're done. That's it. Super easy, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below if there's any craft or anything you'd like to see me make. I also paint, so if you want painting videos, I can do that as well, like Bob Ross type videos. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.